This video has page 518 notes, so this is still continuing on with what we did on 517, where you're going to write out two inequalities, usually in a form of how many and how much. Then you're going to graph them and find some possible solutions. So if we look at number 4, we've got scarves and sweaters. It says at least 5 items, so x plus y has to be greater than or equal to 5. And then our how much is how long it takes to make them. So 2 hours for a scarf plus 10 hours for a sweater. No more than means less than or equal to 40. So on my graph, I'm going to put scarves down here for x and sweaters for the y. So if I solve this top one for y, I would have to subtract x. So y is greater than or equal to negative x plus 5. So if I graph that, start up 5, down 1, right 1, all the way to the other 5. Again, you do not need to go past the x and y axis because that would mean you would have negative amounts of scarves and sweaters, which isn't possible. And then greater than or equal to, so above. When you solve the bottom one, you would subtract 2x from both sides. So 10y is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 40. Divide everything by 10. Y is less than or equal to negative 1/5 x plus 4. So when you simplify that, you get negative 1/5 x plus 4. So I start up 4 and then down 1 and right 5. I can go down 1 and right 5 again. We could keep going. Then we connect those dots. And that's a less than or equal to, so we need to be below that line. So we would be in here. So there are lots of possible combinations. I'm just going to come up with one. I'll do this one right here. So 7, 1. So 7 scarves and 1 sweater. So again, after you graph, you just need to come up with 2 possible solutions. So any ordered pairs that are in your shaded region, or even if you have solid lines, you can pick a dot on the lines if you want. Number 5, this one looks a little bit tricky because we have some decimals in here, but we're going to still work it out. The other thing about this is that we have pants and we have shirts, but over here it says at least 2 pairs of just pants. It doesn't tell us a total. We want at least 2 pairs of pants. So I'm going to put pants for my x and shirts for my y, since that's the order they're given in. So we would only have x is greater than or equal to 2. For the other equation, using the 899 and 399, since it's kind of silly to do that, you can round those to 9 and 4. So we would have 9x plus 4y needs to be less than or equal to 60. So when I graph x is greater than or equal to 2, that means I start by going right 2 and then draw straight up and down. X equals is a vertical line. Greater than would be to the right. For the bottom one, if you would like to do your intercepts, you can. So when I cover up the y, I would get 9x equals 60. Now hopefully you know that 9 does not go into 60. And you get 6.6 repeating, or if you know that's 6 2/3. So if you want to, you can, because again, we don't care where it crosses exactly. You could go ahead and put a dot somewhere about there. All right, and then when you do the y-intercept, cover up the x, and it would say 4y equals 60, y would equal 15. So that would be clear up here at the very top. Okay, so you can go ahead and do your intercepts even if it doesn't land at a nice spot. We're going to connect those two. That's a less than, so we're in this little triangle right here. All right. If you didn't want to use your intercepts and you wanted to solve, you would subtract 9x and then divide by 4. So you would have y is less than or equal to 9/4 x plus 15. Again, you're just looking for two possible solutions. So I'm going to pick this one right here. 4, 2, so 4 pants and 2 shirts. Just to save time, again, I'm only going to come up with one, but when you do these on your own, you need to come up with 2. And our last one, same thing, we have baseball and soccer. We have no more than 15 hours and then at least 8 games. So we would have x plus y is greater than or equal to 8. And then baseball is 2 hours, so 2x, 1 hour for y, so just plus y. No more than 15, so less than or equal to 15. Those are your two inequalities. So again, you can do intercepts if you want. For our top ones, they would both be 8. I'm going to put baseball on the bottom for my x, and then soccer for my y. And it's very important, again, to know which one's which. This one has some actual questions to ask here, or to answer. So for my first one, if I do 8 and 8, that would go there in a greater than sign. If I do my intercepts here, I would get 2x equals 15, so x equals 7.5. So it's going to be kind of hard to do. It's going to be right there. And then y equals 15. So that's at the very top. You also could solve this and get y is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 15. So if you want to do that, you would go down 2 and write 1. So we connect those. That's a less than, so we're looking in this section right here. So now we have some specific questions to answer instead of just finding 2 on our own. The first one says, if we decide to attend 4 baseball games, what's the range of soccer games? So we need to count over 4 for baseball and figure out what that means for my y values then. So I can go from here to here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4 to 7 would be our range of soccer games. Now we're going to attend 9 soccer games. So now we need to count up 9. That's right here. So then we would have 0, 1, 2, 3 baseball games. So don't forget the 0 because you could go to 0 of those and then over to 3. Part D, is it possible to attend 6 baseball games and 4 soccer games? So if I go to 6 on baseball and 4, that's this point right here. So no, that's outside of our shaded region. You also could check that into your inequality if you wanted to.